morning, Patriots. JT here, Serenity Farms prepping, and I'm obviously on a ferry. This is the only way to get to the airport an hour away, where my daughter and her boyfriend are landing, and I'm picking them up. There is a route that takes about an hour and a half to drive, and this is a little bit quicker, and they have a monopoly on the entire system, so they charge whatever they want. So today's topic is prepping and being covert. So I recently watched a video by Dave Hodges over at the Common Sense show, and I don't know how the topic on the discussion board got into prepping and being covert, because the video wasn't. But I tend to comment when I see people making silly comments or trying to help them when they have something perceived all wrong. Now, I'm not always right. Often I will say, in my opinion, and this is what I would do in this situation, or based on actual experiences, you don't want to do that, okay? So this one, it just amazes me how many people still don't realize the inherent danger that is going to come from having all your preps in one place, mistake number one, and then two, thinking that you've got it all covered when people come to take them. There was one gentleman on there who said, "That's okay, I got Mr. Smith & Wesson, so I'm covered." Do you have 10 or 12 Mr. Smith & Wessons? Because one person by themselves, I don't care how many Smith & Wessons you have, you're still one person. You can't stay awake 24/7. You can't watch every window and door in your home or your property. Okay? And the inference the person gave was that was their setup. Another person said, set aside small parcels of food so that when people come knocking, you can give that to them and they'll go away. I've heard a couple other supposedly prominent channels say this same thing, and I do not agree with that. When people are starving, dehydrated, scared out of their minds, watching their children die, and they come to your house knocking, and you give them a little care package, do you think they're not gonna come back the very next time they're hungry and likely bring friends? Okay, I did a video where I gave a scenario that somewhere down the road after an SHTF, my community is established, we're thriving, and up the driveway one day to our gate, we see a woman with a small child. They're dirty. Their clothes are tattered and torn. It's obvious they've been walking. They're tired, they're exhausted, and they come to the gate. Oh, we have to feed them. Do we? Okay. Are they a scouting party for a much larger group that's hiding in the woods, a half mile, a mile back, maybe just at the end of the driveway? How do you know? You don't. How do you know she's not strapped? I mean, that part we're going to take care of at the gate. She'll be down on her knees, hands behind her head, and she will be frisked. Yes, that in itself is dangerous. The child as well. We know terrorists do that. If you give them food and they walk to the end of the driveway, how does anyone sleep that night wondering if it was a setup? Okay, the woman and the child are never going to make it past that gate because they're not going to get a chance to look around. That'll be everyone's own judgment on that one. The bottom line is, if you don't have a community of 10, 12, 15 people in order to do 24/7 security, all the chores, protect your food, I don't see how you're going to last that long. Even if you are one person living in a small town, if you've got all your food in your house, that's a mistake. If you've got food outside your house somewhere, eventually someone's going to see you. They're going to smell something. One guy had said, "I'll just stay in my house and no one will ever know." That's not going to work. These are people who normally probably have common sense. But just because you bought $500 of freeze-dried food and have it under your bed doesn't mean you're good to go. There is so much more that comes with that. You could have 2 years worth of food and die of dehydration. You could have 2 years worth of food and some water and die of a medical illness brought on by piss poor sanitation, pun intended. At some point, you have to leave your structure. And that's going to be where problems start. Well, I'll dress like a gray man. Nobody will know. And people are going to be watching people walking around like never before. They want to see where you came from, where you go, and where you return. They're going to notice how you walk. They're going to see your face. If you're eating regularly, they're going to know. There are people out there extremely street savvy and smart that are predators that know the signs what to look for. Find yourself a group or community, even if it means going and get 5 of your neighbors on board where you can all do something somewhere. But if you're in a small town or village or a big city, you got to get out. I know, you've heard it. I know, it's difficult. I know all about it. I'm not saying it because it's easy. I'm saying it because I'm trying to give you advice that could save your life and that of your loved ones. The ferry is landing. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and notification bell. But for now, JT, signing off.